wait, the microphone has the questions. Can you hear us? We just have to talk loud because of the music.
Yeah, I think it should.
Should I get close to it so you can hear it, or?
No,
that's too close.
Look at the camera.
Okay, you know what? This is fine.
Okay.
We could just. Okay, yeah, we don't have to go like straight off the questions. We can kind of just like discuss like how we were.
Okay. So question number 1.
Sure.
What made you want to go into the medical field?
I didn't really have a clue. When I was growing up, I graduated high school in 1993. A lot of people were picking nursing, so I said, you know what, let me just do nursing. Some people, and we didn't have any money, for. So I said, well, I'll do nursing. I heard that some people go to nursing school and then they go and become a doctor. So I'll go to nursing school, make some money, and then, consider medical school. And so really blindly, I went into nursing school. And nursing school is a little bit weird because, and doctors will say it's very weird, but what's very different about it is that opposed to perhaps the medical school track where you go in for a biology degree or some type of science degree and then apply for medical school, nursing school has a couple different ways to become a nurse. There's some people that may go to a program and get what's called a certificate. And Baptist here in town has one of those. There's some people that go to San Antonio College, like SAC, and that usually means 2 years of some type of junior college, and then they apply for a program and they get a 2-year associate degree. And there's some colleges that provide a bachelor's degree in nursing. That's what's called the BSN. And I didn't know that.
He keeps sliding.
Okay. And I didn't know that going into nursing school. I had no idea, and I don't think a lot of people knew that either that were going to nursing school. And San Antonio itself doesn't really have a program like that. They have Incarnate Word, where you can go. It's a private institution. That's where I went. And what I found out 2 years into my program was that nursing school is actually a 5-semester program, and Incarnate Word didn't have a summer component to it. So you went to school for 2 years, you applied for the nursing program, you were accepted to the nursing program, and then you're still going to school for another 2.5 years. So it's like a 4.5-year investment in time. And if you declare nursing early on, at least at Incarnate Word, you took sciences that are a little bit different from general sciences like you guys take, such as Bio 1, Bio 2, chemistry, your organics. The sciences are a little bit different and in a sense almost watered down for that specific institution. And so when I was 2 years in, I said, well, I'm not really sure I want to do this. I want to do something else. I found out that none of my sciences were going to transfer, and I was already going to a private school. And so I was going to have to look at doing 2 years all over again somewhere. So I said, well, let me just finish the nursing program. So I finished the nursing program and learned what a nurse was by going to nursing school.
Yeah.
Not really having much knowledge of what a nurse did going into nursing school. Now UT Austin does have a nursing program, and so it's probably a little bit different, but that's kind of a little bit strange and different about nursing school. So didn't really know what I wanted to do, thought I wanted to do that. Felt comfortable with the decision I made. I think it was fair. I learned a lot. Started working as a nurse and knew I wanted to do something else. And so at that time, decided to look into nurse practitioner programs, and within a year of working, went to a nurse practitioner program.
So before you weren't sure, did you want to quit after you were almost there? Did you ever feel like quitting and stuck?
Sure, yeah. Like I said, I thought, hey, why am I putting all this work in for nursing? Let me just do something else. And then I found out, I spent 2 years at a private college, and my parents aren't going to be very happy, and to back out. Let me just finish and then decide, what to do after that. So, yes, I did want to quit. I didn't think it was financially feasible, and I didn't really have a good, strong backup plan. I really didn't have a good, strong primary plan.
Yeah.
And another thing that can happen is that sometimes the program doesn't want you. And I found out in the first semester of nursing school, since I really wasn't that into it, it wasn't doing so well, and they weren't really that into me. So, there was those hills and valleys that had to be overcome as well. And so I had to sit down, conference with the program, and they said, hey, either down, or we don't need you anymore, we don't want you anymore. And so I said, well, now I'm 3 years into it, and so I better buckle down because I'm going to be out 3 years instead of 2 years. And so yeah, I think there are second thoughts, and I did have there was a time in my third year when I said, hey guys, I got to just do this. I have to do it. There's really, we have so much money invested in it as a family that I need to finish. And so there was that moment where, I thought maybe I wouldn't finish. I was a little nervous. Application, a little bit more dedication, and wrapped up.
So you went into nursing without really like much of a genuine interest in it, just kind of like a blind thing. So like, I mean, after how long did you kind of develop like an interest for it?
I guess not really appreciating it, not really knowing. I guess I knew I liked helping people in some capacity, whether it was nursing or something else. If someone has a flat on the side of the road, I'll often try to help them out, or say, who can I call? How can I help in some way? So there was an aspect of, I think, myself that bled into the nursing career. But I don't know if I really ever, it was never that calling or what other people say.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, hey, met some friends in it, liked what I was doing, I felt it was a good thing. I appreciated the challenge once I started getting into the tail end of it, where actually more in the hospital, spending more time in the hospital, actually taking care of patients, doing things in the ICU. I like the ICU more than anything else. I appreciated that. I appreciated that challenge. The part where, as far as what kept me in it, I think as opposed to other people who went to school for maybe business or maybe something else, it was when they went out, they kind of got a job that they really didn't even know where they were going to work at either. We're all kind of lost. But within my field, having a nursing degree, you kind of, hey, you went and you became a nurse and you made money right away. And it was very helpful. And I think in that sense, it was easy to make money. Other people around me were actually much older. I was actually one of the youngest nurses at the time. And when people asked them, hey, why did you become a nurse? A lot of them said, well, I opened up a newspaper. That's how you look for jobs back then. And they said, I opened up the newspaper, and that's where all the jobs were. It was, if you're a nurse, come work here, you get a bonus, and you can make this much money. So I think that kept me in it, saying like, well, I have a reliable job, and I'm able to do these things, and it was going to be a little bit easier to become a nurse practitioner since I was already a nurse, and I had a job, so I could work and go to nurse practitioner school.
So I don't know how you were talking about like how you have like to have a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most challenging task that you ever had throughout like your career?
Sure. My career has probably been working where I work now with cardiothoracic surgery. And I think that's something I didn't appreciate when I was younger, also having mentors and having challenges. And it wasn't even, it was probably less than 10 years ago that I said, you know what, I think mentors are actually pretty important. I think it's pretty helpful to have someone that, and if you had a mentor before and you said, oh, I don't really think this is helpful, it may be because maybe you need a different mentor. And I think that's really important about mentorships, is being lined up with someone that you can create a good relationship with. So I think if you're in a mentorship program, you're saying, hey, I'm not really getting a lot out of this, I don't really feel good in here, or I'm not really interested. I thought I liked it, but so it may be that maybe the mentorship was good and you said, hey, this isn't what I wanted, it's not what I thought it was. Or two, the mentorship may not be right, because I had a family practice doctor kind of pseudo-mentor coming out of high school. I was like, I don't really think I like this. And when I was much older, I saw these mentorships with the surgery team, and I said, wow, I have a lot more interest in that. So I think lining up good mentorship is important. As far as the challenging part of your question, I think where I'm at now, I work with people who are, they're all doctors, they're all very smart, they're cardiothoracic surgeons, and to varying degrees. You have med students or they're part of their education and interns, and then upper level residents who you have many times seen them since they're med students come in and completing their intern year, helping them through their first and second and third years, and seeing them grow, and that's rewarding to see. But working with those physicians who are in their 60s now, that have done complicated surgeries and have all this knowledge in the medical field, I don't think I appreciated that part of the challenge. And so I think I went to work and it was hard. I liked it. People say, why do you go back? And I said, I don't really know. I think being a little older and being able to reflect back on it, I think that challenge of going in and having to learn, whether I knew it or not, and that continuation of learning as an adult, I think kept me interested in the job. And now I think I'm much happier working than I was 10 years ago. One, I grew up a little bit, and two, I think I just learned to appreciate the challenge. And I think there's people that say, oh, I don't work there, it wasn't much of a challenge. I'm like, what are you talking about? As I look back, I think, wow, you know what, everywhere I went to was a challenge. It was, I went to an ICU and it was a challenge. I hated my heart as a nursing student. I went to what was called the CCU, the Coronary Care Unit, and I said, I hate this place. It's like hard and I don't like it. I like the SIC, the Surgical Intensive Care Unit. And then I started, I struggled so much with that as a student, but it made me read. And as I read, I showed up one day and I said, I love the heart, and then started doing a lot of cardiology stuff. And then it led right back into the surgery things that I was interested in. And I think at the time I didn't appreciate that. Looking back, I said, I think those are the challenges that people talked about, saying I found reward in that, and I just kept on working within that field and trying to get a little bit more knowledge of it.
So oftentimes we are told that to pick a job that we're going to like is something that we're going to do for the rest of our lives. So what's your favorite part of your job?
It does come back to helping people, and I think I get a lot of feedback from patients say, hey, you must like doing this, and so what is unique with where I work, and I work with college students and I work with medical students, like you said. I also take nurse practitioner students, and so what is unique is that it is a university setting, and so we will take care of complicated patients, and so I think I like that part where we take someone where, and it's not that other doctors in the community can't take care of it, but many times they require so many resources. And so our team is built to provide those resources. We have a pharmacist, we have myself, a team member of the nurse practitioners who help physicians, and we can all complement each other to be able to take care of these patients. So I think that has helped as far as saying, hey, this is a complicated situation, I like doing this, I like taking care of patients, and I have found myself to be in a role where I think I'm adding something to someone's care. And so I think that's where that satisfaction comes. So I think I find that aspect rewarding. Then the other part is just doing things that most other nurse practitioners don't do. And so I'm a little bit different at that. Like I said, I have that dual certification, so I'll take care of rather younger than usual people. I'll take care of patients in the hospital where other nurse practitioners won't. And I'll take care of patients in the clinic where other nurse practitioners won't. And so I think that's added to my enjoyment was actually having more education to be able to do more. And I think looking at the other doctors around me, it's like what makes them happy, and it's usually finding something that they like so much that they can do better than someone else. And even within the field itself, I have 3 partners, but I also work with other nurse practitioners within the hospital, and there's some that really like transplant, and even though I do transplant, I rely on them to do much more than medical management of transplant, and I'll do more of the surgical management of the transplant component of it. And then there's some that like the cardiology part, they'll handle more of the fine-tuned heart failure issues, and I'll just kind of handle the acute care issues. So I think that's one thing that you guys will find is, hey, I got into my subspecialty, but there's even a smaller part of my subspecialty that I like a little bit more than other parts. I think that helps with the longevity of working for every community. I don't know if that answered that question.
So you see, like nowadays, like kids like us, we have opportunities and advantages like this to talk to somebody who's been through the medical field and knows like the ins and outs. So what is some advice would you give like your younger self going into like the nursing school and like, just starting out your career?
Sure. Well, I think what you guys are doing is great because you're engaging and participating. And so one thing, I came from a small town, I went to college, I didn't really do my dorm a lot, and I didn't engage in the college community a lot until later on in the process. So I think what's beneficial is, talking to people and working with the school. When you said, hey, how can I get into the hospital? Finding out who those liaisons are to get you to what you may be interested in. I think it helps just having the face-to-face. Sometimes there is a learning curve because sometimes you show up as a student to an area and that person says, why are you even here? You're not answering any of the questions that I have for you. And, maybe they worked well with students in the past and they work well with you, or maybe, they just don't work well with students, and that kind of goes back to maybe that's not the right thing for them. But I think just trying to engage is probably the biggest thing. Exposing yourself to it, finding out what's working for you, what's not working for you, and then asking people, hey, what's helping you in this path? Talking to the person who's a grade ahead of you or 2 grades ahead of you. And then sometimes being available for the person that's a grade behind you or 2 grades behind you, because sometimes it helps you focus, where you came from and where you want to redirect yourself. So I think that's helpful, is actually just engaging in the community, and then just you all being freshmen. I mean, what I told my daughter was, I told her, go to the learning center, go to the fitness center, pick a club to join, and just really getting involved in the college community, because I think that's what the big benefit is, being able to interact with other people, not just within your own academic field, but a business major or some other major, just to learn about how the college works, how the educational experience works, how life works with it, and then try to have fun within that. And it's always, everyone's always like, oh, well, just knock out that paper, go to this class and do this, and go have some fun. And you're like, well, how the heck do I do that? You give me too much work to go have fun. But yeah, it's just trying to find a way to not overwork yourself in the academic portion of it, trying to network and work within your program to find out, hey, how can I get involved in things I like off campus? How can I do something that's going to make me really understand what I like what I'm doing?
Wait, this is like besides that, did you have fun? Like would you go to parties and stuff?
Yeah.
You did?
So I think early my freshman year, I was and I told my daughter this, the town I'm from is about 80 miles away, and San Antonio was a much smaller town at the time, and it probably took like an hour and 10 minutes from door to door, from dorm room door to my parents' door. It really didn't take long at all. And so I think the biggest thing that I did wrong was I went back home too often. I didn't get engaged in the college lifestyle, the university lifestyle. So there was that aspect of it that I wish I would have done a little bit better job at. I wish I would just, done, not the party aspect part, but find a group. And within every single, whether you're in a sorority or fraternity or just a club, there always is some type of social interaction thing. It's a little bit more than a party. That you can just meet people and there's going to be a group of people that you're not going to get along with, and there's going to be some people that you're like, hey, I really like this person, and they have nothing to do with what I came to school with, and they have nothing to do with my background, but I am like, we really get along, and those are nice relationships to have. So those are like kind of your first adult relationships. As you kind of leave high school behind, and you kind of like find out who you are, and someone else find out who they are, and then you're like, hey, we kind of see the world a little bit more similar than other people, and we really get along. Let's hang out a little bit more. And so, I think being not separating myself from home and from my high school friends kept me from not doing the high school things I was doing. So I was kind of still partying like I did in high school, I guess, so to speak, and not intermingling like I maybe could have in college or university. And so once I was able to separate from that a little bit, and so my junior, senior year were much better when I started actually engaging in the Learning Center. The downside about college is you spend a lot of money to self-study. It's pretty much, and that's what I learned too. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna get out of this what I put into it. And so once I figured out, you know what, it's about me reading the syllabus, just opening up the stupid book, reading it for myself, and then, just kind of understanding the material and then being able to present the material back to my professors. One, I was much happier because I actually understood it. They were much happier because they said, oh, okay, you're actually doing this a little work. You're bringing a little bit to the table. I think that helped out. And then I was engaging in study groups a little bit more. I was spending a little bit more time on campus. I think the partying aspect was with people who are like-minded who said, hey, I want to have a good time, but I'm not going to be up until 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 nights out of the week because I want to go to class. And so I think that was a separation too, that I was kind of aligning myself early on with people that were more like my high school friends that were staying up late, that really weren't going to class, and it's really easy to skip class in college. But then when I started aligning myself with people who had similar goals, they were more structured, and it helped me be more structured, saying, hey, I'm going to study, and then I'm going to go to bed on time, and I'm going to wake up and go to class. And then you see them in class, or you can see them, and they're doing the same thing you're doing, and then you start having relationships that are not as toxic. You're building each other up instead of doing things that are beneficial to you.
So, back to what you had mentioned earlier, I know you had said, you had moments where, you wanted to quit and you wanted to give up. So I was just curious, what was it that kept you inspired or, gave you the motivation to not actually give up? Just what kept you going to pursuing nursing?
Sure. I think not knowing it then, but thinking about it on it now, I think it's just pride. It's like, am I going to go back home and be the guy that flunked out? No, I'm not. I'm going to do
so
something.
kind of you're going to finish what you started type thing?
Yeah, exactly. I even had trouble in nurse practitioner school as well. Because I came to that crossroads where I was like, you weren't really that into nursing, and now you're doing this nurse practitioner thing. You're not really that into this nurse practitioner.
But now, do you love what you do?
Yeah, I like what I do. Because it does go back to I think I'm helping people, and I'm part of a group that I think does a lot for people. Because sometimes every week either another surrounding town or another hospital in town is calling up saying, hey, we have a patient, we need to transfer them in. They're really beyond our level of care. And so our bosses, and I say our because I work with those nurse practitioners, are great in the sense that they'll say, sure, have them come in, and it's usually their last opportunity to do well. And so it's nice being part of that team where you're actually, contributing and doing something, because they're in the operating room when you're actually doing the bedside, care, changing medicines, doing things, recognizing potential problems and intervening in them, and sometimes changing the outcome in a significant way. But I struggled with this, and to the point that I even went back and said, well, I took all these watered down sciences. Then we just go back. So I actually went back while I was going through practitioner school and took Bio 1, Bio 2, Chem 1, Chem 2, organics, genetics, things like that, to actually do the prerequisites of medical school. But then what ended up happening was I was a bad science student and I was a bad nurse practitioner student. I was trying to do both at the same time, And I think that's another thing. Follow your dreams, and I think someone had said the word backup plan, and it's kind of a tough thing because I think if you latch onto something, you almost don't have a backup plan, and it's okay. You're like, I'm going all in. I'm going all in, and then maybe some of that pride will kick in where I'm not failing because I'm not.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it in me. I'm going to succeed. You know, and so there's nothing wrong with having a backup plan. I don't think, but I think most of the interns that I know, knew they wanted to become doctors, and a lot of them didn't have a backup plan. They're just like, I'm just going to do it. And I think that does help in a sense where you're saying, I'm just going to go 100%. I'm going to go all the way in. Live or die. I'm winning. I'm going to get it. So I don't know if I answered that or not. I kind of went off on a tangent, but I think one, it was pride. Hey, I wasn't gonna, face my family and then, face my friends saying, oh, I failed nursing school. They're like, you failed nursing school? What is that about? What a loser. At least fail doctor school or law school,
Yeah, I relate to that a lot. No, like, I get that, the whole pride thing, or just, like, wanting to, like, show everyone that, like, you say you're gonna do something, then you just do it.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna close soon, but I did have, like, just one more quick question.
Sure.
So, like, earlier, I know you can't, like, disclose, like, too much, like, patient information, but I was just curious, like, what's the craziest, like, I guess, story or, like, thing you've seen, like, involving, like, a patient or just, like, an incident that happened?
It's a good question. Well, there's crazy things, and then there's, just, crazy as in, like, what was that person thinking? And there's crazy as in, like, wow, that person should be dead and they're alive.
I guess, like, something that just, like, stuck with you that you'll always remember.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even know how to answer it. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that as far as seeing a lot of things. I guess the things that come to mind, like I said, we take care of some critically sick patients, patients that, sometimes it's their last hope. Maybe I'll share this story. Recently, there was an older gentleman, late 70s, early 80s, and he had that problem that I kind of alluded to earlier, called an aortic dissection, and that's a tearing of the aorta, the biggest artery that comes out of the heart. And so, older guy, he actually had collapsed. They had to do some compressions on him, he came from another town, and this place is calling around saying, "Hey, would you, accept this patient?" And when that happens, it's pretty grim prognosis. It's kind of like, well, you have someone who's pretty old. They had a big problem that's usually associated with the high mortality, because once the aorta tears, many times it becomes more damage control. You don't really revert anything. You just kind of go in there, you secure the abnormality, and then you just hope the body is able to heal enough that you can support them along to a recovery. Because sometimes these things happen, and it can, since the aorta is responsible to giving rise to all the other smaller arteries, they can have gut ischemia or just poor perfusion to their gut, their kidneys. They can lose their arm or their leg if the dissection just tears a certain way. So a couple of places that passed down, the surgeon that I worked with, he said, this is probably going to be a low outcome kind of situation. You're an hour away, he's already pretty ill. We'll talk to him if he's really interested in surgery. His family said, we want to do it. It was really a high risk surgery. I mean, his risk of dying was probably about half, 50%. And even, a low risk on some of these things was probably like 8%, which doesn't seem high, but when you think of usual heart surgery, the risk of dying is like less than 1% in a good candidate. And so anyway, he made it through. It was rough on him. Everything we advertised to him and the family happened as far as a tough recovery, 80 years old with all sorts of 80-year-old problems, and he had about every problem he could have. But he made it out. He made it home. And so he was walking back home. Family's happy. We were actually concerned he'd never make it back home. The best would be that he'd just end up in a nursing home. But he made it back home. So it was nice. That was nice. So I don't, it wasn't crazy, but I think, it was just something that, the people I work with, I think that's why I like working with them, because they do some pretty miraculous things. And maybe you guys would be on the end of doing some miraculous things in a decade and a half. It's a long road, you know. But don't let that discourage you, because one day you're going to be 40. You'll be 40 no matter what. You know? Be 40 as a doctor. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rewarding. For sure.
I don't know. Did you get what you needed?
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, we're
All right. Yeah, we were all here.
Okay, we can end this.
All right.